executives once a week. Because my executives are the most senior level, but were challenged. They were challenged because no one ever came and said, our focus is people. They focus on everything else other than developing people. So you had a weak corporation.
Yes.
Now here's the thing. In developing people, you're going to have some roadblocks. It ain't no fun thing to do, you know. Why? Because whenever you go after something that impacts the lives of improving people, you will always have an evil force that fights against you. Because the best way to release people from a slave mentality is to free their minds. When people become free mentally, the sky is the limit. So there's always a dark force that will fight you because you're freeing people's minds. And that happens. So on the progress and on the road to success in leading people, I encountered many hurdles. People would do write-ups publicly that were loud. They would put negative, oh, sadness falling apart. What that Clint Watson doing up there? Oh, the morale never been so low. You literally have people. And understand, no one can attack your organization unless they have people within connected to.
So true.
So you have to understand that in your organization, everybody can get with the program. There were people who had agendas whose job was to plant seeds of discord, to discourage people that, man, don't get on that. Well, man, that's on your front. Mine and not, that's on your front. You will waste your time doing that. You go into an event, team building, man, they're using you, man, I into that.
Wow.
And so they will go out, give the mischief, the write-ups come, you would know, many of y'all probably read them on WhatsApp. And people say, child, look at them, ZNS.
Lies, fake news, fake news.
Whenever you go after the vision of freeing people's minds, you will face attacks. Because an empowered person is a confident person.
That's right.
And no matter where you work or who you work for, you will always be success because you are free in your mind. Jesus. So I was going after the mind of people in the Broadcasting Corporation. Heavy assignment. Yeah, the money was an issue, how we get new equipment, but I already got government to say, okay, we can do what you need. But what they couldn't provide me is resources to free people's minds. Because that had to come from a level of building trust. That had to come from a level of them watching how I would respond in adversity. So that means that when those things came out, when those write-ups came out, people watched to see how my GM to respond. I would walk into the office, walk through the office, good morning, everybody, how y'all doing? And they must see the thing. You must see the thing. I stop back at the office, I peek in, I say, I saw it, I walk on. But you have to prove to people that I have an assignment that I'm clear in. I know what my job is, and I recognize that nothing will detract me and distract me from achieving that goal. So even when in private, I may say, oh boy, it's getting rough, Lord. Oh Lord, this is heavy. When I come out, I'm empowered because I understand my assignment. I let people understand that we are going somewhere and we will not be distracted. And when people see that, I want people to see your focus. I want people to see your shared determination in adversity. They begin to say, this gotta be for real. This gotta be for real. And you begin to build relationships. That means sometimes building relationships with the very people you know are secretly pulling you down. Bible says it will heap coals of fire on their head. Now that's hard to do because you are human. And when you know somebody is working against you, it is hard to still look out for them, fairly give them opportunities, and still work with them. But that's when you understand you recognize that what they do is not about you. It is about the assignment.
Yeah.
So you're still able to do for people and provide opportunities for people because you recognize that your success comes in seeing them win, even when you know they're cheating on you.
That's right. Powerful, powerful.
So you look beyond them and what they're doing, and you recognize that No, I can't get outside of myself. Because my success comes in seeing that same one win.
Yes.
And seeing that same one promoted, when people are gonna tell them, child, you don't think promote you because you don't think you do that, you don't get no promotion. And when they get it, they confuse. You confuse. I call it in church, we call it confuse the enemy.
Yes.
Because they can't figure out why, after all that you know going on, and after all you know they're doing to you, will you still help people succeed?
Jesus.
And the answer always is because I recognize that the success of my leadership is tied to them being successful.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that requires a whole level of having gone through and being prepared for your assignment. That's why I always tell people, don't crave the leadership role because it requires a price to pay.
Yes.
So when you get there, you have to have gone through the
Leadership.
process so that these things don't impact your decision. They don't impact your decision. They are simply an opportunity for you to recognize, yeah, this may be challenging now, but let's work through the challenge. One of the things I did was upgrade the skills of people. I've signed partnerships with the universities so that we had no money to pay for nobody, school to school. So what we did is we give you advertisement to promote your universities, and you run courses for my people free so they can get certified.
My God.
Excellent.
Nothing this. Now recognize that beyond this job, the skills you gather will be with you
Wow.
forever. And I want you to be a success in life, not just in the broadcasting corporation. I want you to be able to say, you know what, I can get another opportunity somewhere else, and I'm happy for it. Because you have skills that were available to you when you didn't have them available to you before.
Right.
So we've done that to help people develop their skills. We also did the events to provide people an opportunity just to exhale and have fun. And what it did in the meantime of doing that, it built team. We found opportunities. We are the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, a national network for the country, but we hardly went anywhere. So I started seeking out opportunities around the world where we can go live. And so that my team members could have opportunities to travel the world as a national network, be exposed to other networks, and be able to, they've never had for some of them 30 years in their career in ZNS. I've never been given. And we put everybody in a rotation, so no one's left out. Everybody knows the next trip. I mean, beyond that, because I was on the last one.
Yeah.
And we take them around the world. And listen, when you do start building people, what happens? Opposition. I watched Parliament when they get up and go about, oh, they spent $200,000 on a trip when it was only $20,000, and it was fully sponsored by corporate donors. That's what happens. See, when you start building people, people start getting frustrated now.
Yeah.
Because you now start empowering people. We started doing it and letting people know there's no select group. Everybody gets an opportunity. Because this is how we're going to give you experiences that will last you for a lifetime. Changing the mold, empowering people, building people, and then guess what? Rewarding people. Now, rewarding people in their salary. Rewarding people is giving them something additional because they did something spectacular.
Yes.
That simple thank you goes a long way
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes.
Because people feel that they're valued, that they're important, and that they are making a difference. There are people I gave opportunities who said, no, man, I can't do it. I said, you could do it.
Right.
You could do it. I'm going to give you the tools to do it. And then they went and did it. And they came back and said, oh my goodness, I did it. I said, that's right. There's more inside of you than what you just thought. There were people in lower level jobs who just figured that was all they could do. And I saw talent one day in them talking to somebody else. I said, no, you could do something else. They said, no, man, no, man. I said, yeah. And many of them are in different departments now. Many of them in our digital media department who were sitting around being receptionists in the newsroom.
Wow.
And now their personalities on digital media because you had a gift. And all you needed was somebody to identify that gift and give you the tools to pull that gift out of you and let you fly.
Yes. Fly.
Putting people before yourself. There were days in a newsroom, they said, we were so busy, man, we have no cars, and we got to get our crews to assignment. I said, well, you got no problem. I said, yeah, we no car. I just go get my key from upstairs, use my car, that's the government car. We can use your car, GM. I said, yeah. That didn't belong to me. Letting people understand that you are part of the solution. not the problem. So, in grappling this up, what am I saying? You become a leading organization not because you achieve some greatness, not because when people turn you on, you look wonderful. But all of that happens not because of technology. All of that happens because you empowered people. And when you empower people, they go above and beyond, they jump through hoops, they leap over walls and barriers that are created, they crush them down because they feel good about where they are and what they're doing and what the outcome and the purpose will be.
Yes.
That is how you win.
Yes.
That is how you stay at the top. But guess what? Leading organizations don't always win every time. But you're still a leading organization because sometimes somebody beats you in something. Don't mean that you've lost. It means that you go back at it, you regroup, you make it better. You praise them, you encourage them. I always start my meetings when I have meetings with people, and I have to call a meeting on something that didn't happen right. First thing I start up comes out of my mouth is praise. People already know they come in, oh Lord, I know what you can tell us. I open my mouth, okay, everybody. First of all, thank you for the work you're doing. Thank you for what you sacrifice and give. At the end of the day, we have to build people because no one is perfect. Leading organizations are not created because they have millions of dollars. They're created because they invest the millions into their people. And that loyalty grows, that gift in those persons grow, that talent grows. And even when you have moved on, they will remember the investment that you made in them more than the investment you made in other things. We spend millions of dollars into computers that will fail, but won't put thousands into people that will last longer.
Wow.
We spend hundreds of thousands buying a contract on a new software that's going to make doing work more efficiently, but won't spend $10,000 on people upgrading their personal skills. It is wrong. It is wrong. We have to understand that our greatest resource is and will always be people. And as leaders, your greatest characteristic ought to always be your undying and your fervency in developing others. Your success is tied to your investment in people, not in systems. Your success is tied as a leader to your investment in people. So I challenge you today to make $1 million investment and watch your success grow. Thank you.
Papa.
Oh man, I must say thank you so much, General Manager Clint Watson. A tremendous. You had me jumping all over this hotel.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. What a tremendous, encouraging word to help us to never forget that it's always about the people. I love what you said. Take the millions of dollars and invest it in people. And that's one thing Rotary has done. Always promote the people. Always build people because we are people of action, sir. You did a tremendous presentation today. Thank you so much. I know we have an official person who's going to do presenting, but are there any questions for Mr. Watson? Please don't let this wonderful opportunity go by without Mr. Watson. I turn it back over to the moderator.
So first of all, Watson, we want to say to you, we're happy that you were able to make it here today. Don't look at our size. You know, we have many people online, but also it's the summertime, so you know that people are traveling. But you know, I've followed you in recent times, and I think one of the particular things I was impressed with is when you did that show and you went into the prison and you were able to speak to the prisoners and find out their stories of the night. And then I thought that was a really bold initiative, a very revolutionary initiative, because we haven't seen that at all.
Right.
So I just want to know, and that's really perhaps one of the things that typifies you and your ambition and your your drive for excellence. But how are you able to pull that off?
Sure. So what made that easy is something I call the right timing, right? Because that documentary in the prison was done when we had just created Eyewitness News. It had not been released to the eyewitnesses had not been released to the public yet. So what happened is the first we formed Eyewitness News. I hired all of the team and staff Eyewitness News, and we spent from January to May when we came on the air in May, preparing to come on the air. So every day we would go out, cover stories. The other media houses saw us coming out, covering stories, and they were laughing because they're like, we ain't seen y'all put nothing on no TV. We were preparing and practicing and training. We will come back, put a whole newscast together and look at it. Our CEO, Sabaz Bastian, would come every evening and he was like, okay, let me see what y'all look like today. We would do a whole newscast for him. He would watch it, he'd say, y'all ain't ready. We did that for 4 months. And people were getting discouraged. They were like, man, this thing happened. This thing happened. And I said, yo, just keep at it. We can get it excellent. And one day he came and he said, now you're ready. And we set a date. But it was during that period because we weren't on the air, we had time. And so I set up a document, wrote a letter, spoke to the Minister of National Security to listen, we need to show what's going on. He said, sure, no problem. Because we weren't working for a newscast every evening, I could take the time to properly plan it, go into the prison and shoot it, and then spend weeks upon weeks editing it. So that when we released it, after we came on the air, it was ready to go. That can't probably ever happen in a day-to-day news cycle where you're busy every day. So that was perfect timing. And it was something that we spent hours on. And the night before it aired, we were there. We got to work 6 o'clock in the morning and we left the following morning at 7 a.m. We spent 24 hours just working hard, editing it. And so it happened to have the right team, the right people, the right timing, with the time available. We went in and as a news person, the fear wasn't there for me, right? Because people be like, y'all going into prison. I was in the cell. I put on the orange outfit. And I went in there and I sat and talked to some of them. I did interviews with some of the most hardened criminals. And you know why I needed to do that? Because whether people realize it or not, and I'm glad I see Mr. Dean here, former Assistant Commissioner of Police. Crime is a result of a bad society, not bad people. And when you sit and talk to these people who are serving life imprisonment, some of the most horrific crimes, and you're sitting there, you know what's going through my mind when I sit and talk and interview them? They ain't no different than me. A bad decision led to their whole life changing. Smart people. People who have compassion. People who really want you to hear them made bad decisions. And no one was there who could say, no, shift. So when I saw that, I recognized that all of us are only a decision away from being right there with them. One decision away. Think about it, you get mad with your spouse or your loved one or your friend or something like that, and you run hard, bad. It's one decision away from you being before a judge who say life in jail.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so I recognize that they had misfortunes. I don't take anything away from the pain that they've caused families. I understand that. But I recognize that we have to understand that's not a garbage bin. You don't throw people in there and say, okay, dispose of them for the rest of your life. Many of them will end back up in society. What are we doing to ensure that they don't take that pathway again? So it's talking to people, it's hearing them, is reasoning, it's getting their story out so people can understand that we judge and we criticize, we get angry, but they people just like us. And so the experience was an interesting one. And I thought the experience was one that our country needed to see. To understand that, see, we drive past Fort Hill, there's a big wall, you ain't no gun on the back there, you don't even care about it. But we have to understand and feel the pulse. So we don't know when our loved one, for some decision they make, will end up in there, and you have to know what they go through.
Are you doing things to continue that?
Yeah.
Because after Eyewitness News, I've just never had the time to even go back. But I'll tell you, I ain't no police force no more. Many of them stay in touch with me. I don't know how they do it, but they stay in touch with them. And they sent, many of them are sending texts, they would send tips. They would tell you, Mr. Watson, go check this out, and it always panned out to be true. Yeah.
Um. My question is that, I really appreciate what you're doing. I see this transformation. I know in leadership, if you're trying to do anything to be successful and change the dynamics, you becomes a problem.
Right.
I know that. But what I want to find out from segue into a ZNS perspective, I see y'all know the nightly news, I see some transformation. I'm thinking islands, our family islands. That for right now, if something happens in Inagua now, to get a live feed, you know, like you watch CNN and they're right there. They're right there. Is anything in the pipeline for ZNS to say, be in a position to go through all these areas? Anything in the pipeline?
Right. So I think I'm glad you raised that question, right? Because the challenge we have as a beautiful archipelago is we're separated by water. And to get anywhere outside of your island that you live on, you gotta take a boat,
Yeah.
take a plane, gotta fly or sail. And so it makes it very difficult to get things. But technology today is so advanced that there are things that we can do right away. If you, for example, a lot of what you don't know is a lot of things that we shoot is by phone.
Yeah.
So if something goes on right now in Inagua, I can pull up a Zoom to the person in Inagua and talk to them live on Zoom.
Right.
And we can get it right away.
Right.
Or I can tell somebody, go up there and get some footage from me. And if I want to make it live, I can send them a code and they can shoot the footage live and I can show it in Nassau live. So
Right.
there's technology that we can get stuff happening. And so a lot of that you're gonna see happening, especially as we go into an election season. We're gonna use a lot of that technology to make sure that we keep everybody covered. But listen, we don't take our job lightly. You heard us, you hear what we say? Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS.
Yeah.
Ain't no other station, I don't care how they think they are. No one can cover the Bahamas like us. We can go anywhere around the world, as we've been showing people from New York, from Washington. We can come live anywhere in the world. You can't do this.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, RCN.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. I do my thank you to our guest speaker. That's a little different today, Mr. Watson. Please,
Yes,
please.
yes, sir.
So I have a question for everyone, because this is such a lovely presentation, and I was so inspired by even last week who said do things differently.
Differently.
So let's start off with PP. How would you, what was your most memorable, name one of the most memorable things?
Well, the investment in people, that is becoming a new trend in the Bahamas, but it's, you know, that's the word. People, we can invest in all the cars, we can tell the boss, we got everything up to date, everything straight, the office is clean, but
Agreed.
people is the major problem.
PP Raquel? What is one thing that was memorable for you today?
Good afternoon. I'm going to piggyback on what the past president Stephen said, and that's me. A lot of times when people go into leadership, whether that's the leadership of a country, the leadership of an organization, club, it's self-fulfilling. They try to do things to enrich themselves, to empower themselves. And what was interesting in all of that you said was that you looked at people. You met them where they were. And you focused your leadership on the people, investing in them, trying to gain your trust. And I value that. I appreciate it. I want to encourage you.
Yeah.
One more, just one more, I promise. Our secretary, what was something, name something that was memorable? Okay.
Yeah. Listen, it was powerful, wasn't it?
Yes.
If I was to say one word, it would be wow. You spoke about empathy, you spoke about active listening, you spoke about compassion,
Yeah.
and you spoke about retooling. And then when you do all of these things for your staff, you create a paradigm shift. And I feel the goosebumps just about this. And I did Reverend Dr. Steve, and I did myself. Another key thing, empowering people is confident, creating a confident person, and you master. And when you face adversity, you stand tall.
Yeah.
Woo, Jesus.
And this is once again, just to culminate this, I also made pockets notes. Not go through that. They don't go through that. So we thank you so much for your time. We know that you and your team were traveling, and so we truly appreciate it. And we, as RCN, would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Please do come again soon.
Yes.
I'm sure everyone online enjoyed this presentation today. And we would just like to present you with our certificate of appreciation, along with our token of appreciation.
That's great. Now, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all very, very much. Because as you know, knowledge is a seed for change. If you have knowledge, you will create change. Knowledge produces change. So right now, I have some giveaway. Mr. Watson has a guest in the.
Please.
I have a gift for you, sir. Mr. Watson's guest.
Right in the back, please.
There you go. Oh, the phone, when I stepped in, they called the people in the building.
Hi, Samita. Just before we go, does anybody online have anything they would like to say? I know we have a number of our persons visiting from Eleuthera and other Rotary clubs, but if they want to say anything to Mr. Watson, I think this is a wonderful opportunity to open up your mic and just share something on it. I think our friend from Eleuthera, Kathy LaCroix, go ahead.
Hi. Yes, hi, Mr. Watson. How you doing? This is Mrs. LaCroix, the mother of the young lady who had the opportunity of bringing you up from NTA. Yes.
Yeah.
So awesome speech with the passport. I never look at the passport again the same. And today was awesome. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you with the leadership comments and stuff like that, and the whole thing with the leadership. That is very much needed in a lot of organizations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So right now, we'll do fines and a happy dollar. Is it something you're happy for today?
Can I hear you?
Find the happy dollar.
Fines and a happy dollar.
Okay.
Are you happy for anything today?
Yes.
Come on, tell me what you're happy for. I'm happy for life. I'm happy just to be here. So I'm giving first. Okay.
You go around with it.
Please, appreciate it.
I'll put in $3. Why are you happy? I'm happy for the partnership with some very good vendors and
Like Grid? Like Grid?
what's that?
Are you happy to be the president of Grid?
I was trying to say that to say, you know.
And I just gonna give a happy dollar on behalf of Jamal. He'll give on my behalf, okay? Fire me, sorry.
Yes. Sam, what you happy for?
I chose not to.
That's just,
I say it.
$25, man. Make it to 25. 25.
Yes, thanks. Well, thank you very much. Now, we will now have the four-way test by that Rotarian Donnie. The four-way test.
Are we standing?
Would you stand?
All right. Good evening. Let us be upstanding for the four-way test. The four-way test of the things we say, think, or do. Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to all
Will it
concerned?
build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Beneficial to all concerned.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it
Will
be
it be
beneficial to all concerned?
And then, will it be fun?
Be fun.
Will it
Yay.
be fun? Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much, Rotarian Donnie. We will now have the Rotary toast, and that is by P.P. Larry.
To all Rotarians, I guess, who I have. Those, including our president, who are so many with us in the White House. Let us join with Rotarians everywhere in a toast to Rotary around the world.
Rotary around the world.
Around the world.
Rotary around the world.
Rotary around the world.
Around the world.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Lady Victoria, please ensure that we get a group picture with everyone, please.
Great.
Let's have a group picture.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? They have them muted, right? Mute them, it's muted. Zoom them off.
Goodbye, everyone.
Got it. Thank you so much, Kathy. Take care in the beautiful
You're
Eleuthera.
welcome.
God bless everybody in Eleuthera. See you when we get back there again. Have an amazing day.